Hi, it's Joe Wheaton from Utah State University, and just kicking off Module 2 here and want to set the stage for the substance that's going to follow. So Module 2 again is on the science and case studies that support and have built some of the confidence in low-tech process-based restoration. And so I wanted to just take us back to Module 1 and a little reminder of the key processes and some of the principles there and where we need fill in. So recall that we had four principles that helped us understand what constituted healthy riverscapes. And we spent a bunch of time focusing on this idea of structure forcing complexity, and that builds resilience. And what we learned is that there's a couple of key processes that are sort of, we call them key processes, kind of like a keystone species, if you will. But if we can focus on those key processes, then there's a whole bunch of other supporting processes that must be taking place for those processes to occur. And those were wood accumulation and beaver dam activity. And so what we're going to think of this morning as is it's really organized around making these connections. Okay, so making these connections to these two processes, wood accumulation. So you're going to hear Steve Bennett present on post-assisted log structures from a project largely in the Asotin, which is actually where this picture is from. And then you're going to hear Nick Bowis talk about beaver dam activity stimulated using beaver dam analogs. And he's going to talk about both Bridge Creek and Birch Creek. And this is a picture from Birch Creek here of a BDA in which beaver dam activity has taken place on top of it. So the low tech part are these hand built sort of structures that kick off these processes. And so where did some of that science come from that supports that, right? In terms of just low tech structures, there's things that look like BDAs and PALs that have been around for ages. But the way in which they were used, and particularly with this focus on mimicking, promoting, and sustaining process, that's slightly different. That's something that has come about in the past decade. And so this clarification of process-based restoration and where that science comes from is what you're going to learn about this morning. Most of this is going to come from two intensively monitored watersheds. This is a paper that Steve Bennett and a bunch of us published a while back. Actually, sorry, I was not on that. So, paper that Steve Bennett and Nick Bowis and a bunch of others published on these IMWs. And Bridge Creek is the one that you'll hear Nick Bowis talk about, and the Asotin's the one you'll hear Steve Bennett talk about. Okay. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Nick for the next presentation. Enjoy.